Hey channel makers, today I thought it would be a great opportunity to get together and discuss something that all of us as channel makers either face or are going to face at some point in our content creation career. That is just when creating content gets really hard. One of the hardest things that most of us are going to face is harsh criticism. The criticism tends to come in the form of comments. That's the way that people interact with us. We don't even, unless you're looking for it in the analytics, you don't even regularly notice when people downvote things or whatever. What we tend to see is the negativity that we sometimes get in our comments. I've heard from some of you, I've heard from members of Project 24 many times about some of the disheartening feelings they get when that sort of thing happens. The impact that it can have on our mental health, the impact that it can have just on our drive to continue putting in the effort to create new and helpful content is significant. So I want to talk about what do we do when that sort of thing happens. As a lot of you may know, at this point in my YouTube career, I'm having a little bit of a hard time, having a bit of a rough week. I recently faced a lot of harsh criticism in the comment section of a couple of videos, mostly from people who don't have any idea who I am. That criticism, though, was directed pretty squarely at me, and I felt like most of it was just based on a lack of information. That said, I'd like to take just a second to apologize for anybody that felt misled by the way this channel has been run up until now. It's my responsibility as the owner of the channel, it's my responsibility as the owner of this company to run it the way that I want it run. And the way that I tend to run things is very transparently. In fact, any of you who view the Income School YouTube channel, you're probably aware of that. I'm a pretty open book. I do a lot of YouTube lives, people ask me questions, and I probably reveal more than I should. It's the kind of person that I try to be. And yet, I still allowed this channel to be run in a way that wasn't as transparent as I wanted it, and that was clearly even less transparent than I thought it was. That's sort of the curse of knowledge, I guess. Those of you who already knew about the relationship between Income School channel makers, being specifically that Income School, the company, the creators of Income School, me, my friend Jim Harmer, who founded this company with me, we started channel makers too. But we hired employees to take that channel and to build it, to run with it. We taught those people, Nate being one of them in the very beginning, and the one who primarily took over the channel, but we taught them everything we'd learned over years of creating YouTube channels. We had them work with us on our own channel. We basically tried to give them everything they would need to know to be able to grow this channel. And really, they did a great job. For a long time, for basically 3 years now, Nate has been the primary face of that channel. And to many of you, he was the only face of that channel. And he did a great job building it up. And he's learned a lot of great things and did just a fantastic job of presenting the things that he learned. But behind the scenes, there was a team, and a team that grew over time. Early on, we had an editor, someone to help with editing and thumbnails. For the last year or so, we've had Julia here helping to literally plan all the videos. And over the last few months, we've had other team members, the ones that I introduced you to this week, who have been helping to literally plan every single video. My intention, our intention all along, was to introduce those people to you on that channel. Our intention all along was to make it clear that Channel Makers was a part of the Income School family and ecosystem. Inside Project 24, members have access to all of the blogging content that we teach, they have access to all the YouTube content that we teach, and they have access to our entire team. They have access to all of the masterminds. I've personally led many masterminds where I've had multiple people who came in through the YouTube system specifically, but who attended my masterminds to learn more about how to monetize their brand. Not a blog-specific topic by any means. I've taken a lot of questions and given a lot of answers to people who are dedicated solely to building up their YouTube channel. That's frankly what we're about here at Income School, the company, at Income School, the YouTube channel, and at Channel Makers. But really, to anybody who did not see that and who feels misled, I personally and sincerely apologize. I think it's important that I do that, then that I take responsibility as, again, the leader and the owner of this brand. So to bring things kind of back, I have to say this isn't the first time I faced criticism. Frankly, this is the biggest, quote, scandal I feel like I've ever faced. It feels like it's been blown a ways out of proportion, but again, I can understand why some people feel the way they do. So what do we do when we feel like we're caught in a scandal? Mine's not the biggest scandal going on YouTube right now either. There are plenty of others. So what do we do as creators when we find ourselves caught in a scandal, especially when you feel like an innocent victim? What do we do when on a much smaller scale, but a very real scale, we face meanness or even harsh criticism for the content that we create? What do we do with those feelings that we have? What do we do to ensure that our business is successful? I have a few specific things that I'd like to share, but I would love to hear from you as well in the comments. What do you do as channel makers when you face harsh criticism? What are the things that you do to help yourself to be able to handle and process the very human emotions that we feel when we're heavily criticized? But also, what do you do to ensure that your channel, that your business continues to proceed forward and grow in a positive and successful way? Now, here are some thoughts that I have, having faced this sort of thing many times and being in the middle of it right now. The first thing is, I would say, trust your analytics more than the comments. You will find as things happen and you start to get mean comments or whatever, maybe there's a bunch of assumptions being made, you will find that if you just give it a couple of days and watch the actual numbers, that more often than not, most people do not have nearly as strong of feelings as what's represented in the comments. In fact, I've seen quite a bit of support, both in some of the comments, but also through the actions that people have taken. Choosing to say subscribed, choosing to subscribe to the Income School YouTube channel. Other actions that people are taking that show support and understanding for the situation that we're in right now. And so if I were to look at only the comments and the direct feedback, the very specific feedback that I'm given, I would get one picture of how everybody's feeling. But instead, I look at that as only a part of the picture. I can take those comments, I can learn things from them to help make sure that I don't make the same kinds of mistakes over and over and over again. But at the same time, I can recognize that there are many of you who continue to be very supportive of channel makers and what we've created here and the help we've tried to provide to you. The second thing is to just keep creating content. No matter how you're feeling, no matter what that situation is, if you just get out there and continue to create content, the majority of the criticism is going to pass. Most people that are going to be highly critical of you are just people who are going to comment, they don't like something about what you're doing, and they'll probably just stop watching and they'll disappear. But there are other people, like I said, when we look at the numbers, there are lots of other people who don't have that same problem with you, who probably like you. And as you continue to create content, those people that will like you are the people who are going to find you for the most part. And you'll grow the audience that you want. What you shouldn't do is look at those comments and try to cater to every single one of them and try to please everybody. It just won't happen. And the more you try to please everybody, the more bland your content is going to get. Have an opinion. Take a stance. Stand up for yourself in some situations when it's appropriate. And you'll find that the people who like you will stay with you. And they'll stay with you for the long haul. The third thing is to just focus on being incredibly helpful. The more helpful that you are, the more that criticisms and negativity just come off sounding really hollow. That's the focus that I'm choosing to have as we move forward on Channel Makers. I choose to move forward in a very positive way. I'm choosing to focus on very positive content. You're going to see we have many more videos coming out here on this channel, and they're going to feature more and more and more of the team and gain more and more of their expertise to be shared with you. So I hope you will continue to join me and the rest of the team here at Channel Makers as we continue to create that sort of content for you. And just remember, no matter what happens, even if you are completely responsible and completely at fault and make a big old mistake, it's never the end of the world. There's always an opportunity to try again and to do better and to say, I'm sorry for the mistakes that I've made, and to say, thank you for watching this video and for giving me the opportunity to continue to share with you the things that I and my team have learned and the things that we will learn as we continue to do deep dives and data gathers on this channel. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in our next one.